everyone, welcome back and thank you so much for joining me once again. It's always so much fun for me to take you along into my home and into our day and to share with you a little glimpse of what our life looks like on a daily basis. If you're new here, I just wanted to introduce myself once again. My name is Christina and my husband and I, we have 4 children. We live on our tiny little homestead in a suburb area. And when I say we live on a tiny homestead, what I mean is that we live on under 1 acre and we live off of our land as much as we can. We have backyard chickens, we have a garden, we have fruit trees planted in every corner that we could possibly plant fruit trees. And we are a homeschool family. My husband and I both work from home and we homeschool our children. And we just love all things home. And the purpose of my channel is to inspire, motivate, encourage homemakers and mothers and homeschool families. I also love to share recipes, cooking, baking, sourdough, things that I like to prepare for my family. I like to share things that I do around my home to make homemaking easier, more efficient, and more enjoyable. And if you're new here, I would just want to say welcome, and I'm so glad you're here. And I hope you are able to find some sort of encouragement, inspiration, or motivation every time you look at one of my videos. And for those of you who have been around longer, I want to say thank you for your support. I really appreciate every time you watch one of my videos and share them. It really does mean a lot to me, so thank you.
Hi.
Earlier this week, one of my sisters sent me over a recipe that she said she loves and she wanted me to give it a try. She said it's one of the best muffin recipes that she's ever tried. It's a blueberry lemon streusel muffin, and so I decided that I was going to give it a try. So that is what I'm working on right now. So I made these muffins in the evening and I actually had to make 2 batches. So I actually messed one up. I got distracted and I ended up forgetting to put baking powder in one. And also the streusel didn't quite turn out in my first batch. So by the time I baked my second batch, it was already pretty late at night. So what I did was I saved them. I just covered them and stored them overnight, saved them for the morning. And I'll be serving them for breakfast the following day instead of just having them for an evening snack with tea like I was planning to originally. But that worked out even better. It provided a side for breakfast, and so I didn't have to do too much the following day for breakfast. So the first batch when I made the streusel to top the blueberry lemon muffins, it turned out too wet, so I think I put a little bit too much butter. And I also used a whisk and somehow I got the wrong texture. So the second time around, I made sure to use the exact amount of butter and flour that the recipe calls for. And I used a fork instead to break up the pieces this time, and that worked a whole lot better. It had more of a dry substance and it turned out more of the crumbly texture that it was supposed to be. And if you guys are interested in this recipe, because it is really delicious, I have that linked below to my website where you can find all of my recipes. And I'm adding on more recipes as time goes on because my blog is still really new and I'm slowly adding recipes on there for you all to enjoy. us, and myself included, have found yourself on days where you're just not motivated for homemaking. So I wanted to share some tips and advice that I do in those situations where I feel unmotivated for various reasons, whether you're exhausted or feeling discouraged, or something is going on, some certain situation where you just are not feeling motivated. So I think a big one is getting dressed cute. It really does matter, and it always, me personally anyway, it impacts how I feel and how I perform. So when I take the time to do my hair, do some makeup, put on something cute but comfy, make my bed in the morning, tidy up my kitchen, just keeping the home clean, at least somewhat clean, I find that doing all of these things really helps me to be more motivated and more comfortable, I guess, in my environment. And it just makes me feel better about myself, feel better about my surroundings, and it inspires me to do and perform better. Another thing that's really important is to find joy in your tasks. So I think it's really important to pay attention to your attitude and adjust it when you feel yourself getting irritated, overwhelmed, or annoyed. And a lot of times this just has to do with willpower. You feel yourself going down that overwhelmed and angry, frustrated. And I think it's really important to catch yourself on time and to make that decision that I am not gonna let this take over me today. Sometimes you just have to adjust your tasks if you're feeling easily stressed that day. So go easy on yourself and allow yourself to do less or something more simple that day. I know for a fact that my family would rather have a relaxed and joyful mother and wife with some things that I didn't get done instead of one that gets a million things done but with a rotten and exhausted attitude. It's also important to remember that we all have bad days or hard days, and one bad day does not define who you are. Also, it's okay to stop and rest and just stop what you're doing, go outside and hang out with your kids. The tasks and work will always be there, but the moments won't be. Remind yourself that these are the good old days. It's a very sobering reminder to think that these days won't last forever. My husband and I won't be young with small children forever. We're getting older and our kids are growing, and these beautiful, wild, fun, yet peaceful days of the little ones under our roof won't last forever. They will grow up and start their own families and have their own homes one day. Thinking about this always makes me snap out of my current thoughts of how hard it is to take care of a large household and how exhausting it can be. It makes me come back into reality and look around and realize that these are the good old days. These are the glorious days I will remember forever. Scenes of my children running around barefoot with the sun setting in the backyard as they run through the garden, laughing and chasing each other. These are times that I'll never get back. All those dirty floors and clothes, they are nothing in comparison to the beautiful moments that we share, my husband and I and our precious children. Another important thing that helps me to stay motivated as a homemaker is that I remind myself that this isn't a chore. This is a blessing. To have a precious family to feed and care for, this helps me not to just force myself to make the snacks and the meals, but it changes everything, my whole attitude, and it makes me super motivated and happy to make all the meals and snacks. Seeing your family and your tasks as a blessing instead of a burden is a complete game changer. Reminding myself that I get to do these things, not I have to, completely shifts my perspective and helps me to do all things with joy. And if you have one of those days where you tried all those things and you just can't seem to get motivated, there's probably a reason, and you probably need some sort of break or a reset. So take a trip to the library or take a trip to the park. Do something fun just to clear your head, get out of the house, and so everyone can have a good time and you can get a little time of rest away from your daily household tasks. Also just wanted to mention real quick that all of the recipes that I made in this video, I have linked down below to my website, where you will be able to find all of the recipes that I shared today, along with some of my other favorite recipes that I have already posted on there. And if you've seen a recipe in one of my videos that I forgot to share or that you were interested in, feel free to comment down below and ask for a recipe, and I would be happy to share it with you. Here I'm making my sourdough dinner rolls, and they are very tasty and fluffy, and they actually have butter and milk in them, so they are very flavorful, and we love to have these dinner rolls even for breakfast, but you can really have them as a snack, for lunch, breakfast, dinner, whatever. Today I'll be serving them for dinner as a side, but they're also super delicious with butter drizzled with honey, or you can also serve them savory as a side with chicken, mashed potatoes, and gravy. They're kind of great with any type of dinner. Some weeks I actually like to make them just to store them in the pantry and have them as a snack for the kids' midday snack. They usually get pretty hungry right after we finish homeschooling, so that's something great to have in the pantry for them to just open up, grab, and go play outside. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found some helpful tips or information. You were able to be inspired, motivated, or encouraged. And if you're not already subscribed, please consider doing so. And please don't forget to share this video.